When my son was playing baseball back in the early 90s, during one of the games, one of the parents came over to talk to me, and she asked if she could ask me something, and I said, sure. She said, a very nice young man will be student teaching at the high school next year, and I would like you to take care of him if you could. And I said, well, I'll do the best I can. And that young man happened to be Eric Buckley. The thing I remember about Eric the most was he was a rapid rise to great success. He was a teacher. He became a guidance counselor. He was department head. He was vice principal, and then he was principal. So when his future mother-in-law asked me to take care of him, I think honestly he could have taken care of me.
The adults now and the colleagues that we have that were his students that formed, strong bonds with him that still have come back to, to work for him and with him throughout the later years. That, he's had definitely a strong positive impact on a lot of people's lives, especially when people come back to work alongside you. You can kind of tell that.
He was one of those teachers that I had that was the reason I became a teacher. When I was a freshman here at Peabody, he was my history teacher, first period. So he was the first experience I had in this building, and he made such a good first impression that I came all the way back here.
So I remember Eric when he was vice principal here when I was a student, and he was always so welcoming. The students knew him, I knew him, and he was a big reason why I even wanted to come back and teach at this building. He never would try to go behind your back with any information. He always told you how it was. He was very upfront with you, and he told you how it was because I think that's how he knew people liked it. He didn't want to be fake leader. He wanted to be a good leader, and part of being a good leader is just being honest with your employees so that we can trust them.
I think as a person, it was kind of the way that he was as a colleague, as a principal or a teacher or whatever. He really didn't have a lot of ego. There wasn't a lot of ego associated with him. He didn't wear his principal's badge on his chest. He was interested in you as a person and was very down to earth that way. And he just was really friendly and outgoing, not in a loud, boisterous way. But when you were with him, you got that feeling from him.
Eric was a good candidate for the job, and had a good disposition and got along good with the students. And he was a hard worker, very conscientious. In fact, he was so good, I decided that where I was wearing several hats at the time, during Student Government Day and the yearbook for many years, I decided to see if he had an interest in taking that over, because that was a big job, and he handled that very well.
Was always very dependable. He was around if you needed him. One of the best things about him is whether you liked his answer to something or not, he was honest and told you how it was going to be. It was
a lot of fun. Working with Eric was a lot of fun. It was, coming here in the morning first to start your day with a few laughs. If there was ever a tough spot as a new administrator, kind of not knowing the ropes yet, starting to learn the job, he was always that point of support, but always there was always that humor. Whether it was, we were in a tight spot with a couple, maybe a student or two, and I really needed some help and some decision making, and it was, kind of a serious situation. He'd always find a way to find the comedy in it and really lighten the mood, but always showing me the right steps to take in in handling a particular academic or student situation.
I remember it was probably 2 years before Eric retired. We had a medical emergency here in the hallway and in the hallway downstairs, and our walkie-talkies were buzzing. Everybody was flying. One of my colleagues went by me with the AED, and I came around the corner, and Eric was there with the paddles in his hand, and he was paddling a student, and that's a pretty righteous thing. I don't think we all think we would do the job when it came to us, but he jumped right in there and he knew what he had to do. And he did it, and it was just amazing. It was amazing to see. He could keep us calm and cool, and he wasn't overwhelmed by anything. And when it was time to act, he acted.
Within our department, there was this group of us who would very often get together, and we would solve a lot of problems and a lot of issues. And Eric was a part of that. I was a part of that. And we called ourselves the Breakfast Club. And I just think that we made a difference, and he certainly has made a difference.
Eric, we're very, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Eric, Congratulations.
Congratulations, Eric, on winning the George Peabody Legacy Award. It's a huge honor. It's well deserved.
Congratulations, Eric, Mr. Buckley, for winning the Legacy Award. Very well deserved. You're the best.